This video is brought to you by Sun King Discs. Go to sunkingdiscs.com for a full selection of disc golf merchandise from all the major brands. Welcome to my review of the Discraft Raptor. Big thank you to Sun King Discs for sponsoring this video. Go to sunkingdiscs.com to check out the website. They have a huge selection of all the different disc golf stuff you could need, including all the new Discraft releases like the Raptor, the Soul, the Kong, etc. So go check them out, tell them I sent you. Let's get into the review of the Raptor. This one is in the Z plastic, really beautiful pearly Z plastic on this particular disc with the Throw Down the Mountain tournament stamp. Mike Barnett and Sun King runs the Throw Down the Mountain event, so if you saw that on Jomez, that's what this disc is from. This one I think came out a little bit earlier than the stock runs too, so it gave me a little bit of a head start testing this disc. Really beautiful pearly plastic. The Z plastic, not super grippy, but it is one of the most durable blends on the market. It will hold flight characteristics for a really long period of time, and it actually will kind of get grippier over time as it kind of breaks in a little bit. Usually the Z plastic gets a little grippier and is overall one of my favorite plastic blends on the market, especially for drivers. It's really great stuff, and this one, really beautiful. So the Raptor is not super flat, nor does it have a pop top on it. It's pretty average. It's kind of more on the flatter side of things, which I like. It feels really nice in the hand for sure. It has that familiar kind of Firebird shape to it. Let's take a look at the profile here. So you can see it has that little tiny like flat spot right before it slopes up into the inside of the rim there. This one is 174 grams as well, so it's basically max weight. And yeah, kind of a familiar shape. Let's take a look at it next to some other things. So the Raptor flight number is 9403. The Pioneer from Latitude 64. This is going to be Ricky's new signature disc if he didn't move away from Latitude and back to Innova. And this one is 9304. And seems to be a little bit more overstable. I feel like those numbers are actually pretty close for both of these discs. Here is your look side by side if my camera will cooperate. Definitely similar feel in the hand. I actually think this Opto plastic feels a little better. It's grippier, but that's a personal preference thing. Also, gotta throw it up next to a Firebird. This is a Sexton Firebird, I think a 2017 that I have in my collection. And I wanted to give you guys a side-by-side here. So obviously very similar, very similar vibe in terms of their shape, their feel in the hand, the flight. It's all pretty reminiscent, especially the Sexton Firebird being not like a super overstable Firebird. Definitely reminds me of the Raptor. It's been a little while since I've tested the Sexton Bird, but I'm pretty sure they're not super far off. So here's one more look at the rim profile. Definitely a comfortable feel. And from what I know, the Raptor was actually going to replace the Predator and kind of knock it off the market, and the Predator was going to go out of production. But now that Paul Macbeth is throwing the Predator quite visibly on Jomez and stuff, I think it's pretty likely we'll see that mold continue to exist, and the Raptor will just be another option. I'll say it right now, the Predator always had kind of a weird feel in the hand for me, and I think the Raptor feels better. And if you are into the Firebird but you're looking to try some Discraft plastic, it's the natural thing for you to look into. So let's talk about the flight of this thing. Not going to be a surprising description. It's an overstable fairway driver. You guys know what it's going to do. I almost don't even need to test these discs anymore for some of these ones because I know what's going to happen. It's an overstable fairway. What's it really going to do that really blows me away or surprises me? The differences really come down to the feel and the different plastic blends and what you prefer, but it's not really hugely different from any other overstable fairway driver that I've tested. The Pioneer seems a little bit more overstable. I'm sure you can find Firebirds that are more overstable, slightly different flight numbers, but not hugely different. Again, I think it's pretty similar to the Sexton Firebird. One thing I will say is that I could see this disc being a little bit faster than a Speed 9. A few of the times I threw it, it seemed to really get from point A to point B quite quickly. That could also be because it doesn't have a ton of glide, so when you throw it, it just kind of cuts through the air and gets there pretty fast. So I could see it being a Speed 10, but at the same time, I don't think they would ever list it as a Speed 10, even if they kind of thought it might be, because that gets away from the Speed 9 kind of Firebird vibe that they're kind of looking for, as far as I'm concerned. That's my opinion. At least I think we were seeing a lot of similar flight numbers for different discs being released. I don't think that's a coincidence. I don't think the Pioneer having the same exact flight numbers as the Firebird is a coincidence. The Raptor being slightly different, supposedly having a little bit more glide, a little bit less fade. I think it's somewhat arbitrary. It's not a huge difference. Depending on the individual you end up with, it might be just as overstable as any Firebird, it might be slightly less, and there's always going to be some of that variation in there. But ultimately, it was a really trustworthy, consistent disc. After a few throws, you know what it's going to do. You can fully pull it over on anhyzer, and it will flex out eventually. You can throw it hard and flat, it will go mostly straight, but start sweeping left relatively quickly into the flight. And if you put it on hyzer, it stays on a sharp hyzer all the way. I think this thing is going to be really effective for those more experienced players that put more energy on their shots, and they want to have that really trustworthy, consistent, overstable fairway driver. And yeah, it's really not a surprising disc. And it gets to the point with some of these reviews, I've reviewed so many discs now, where I don't even really know what to say about some of these overstable fairways anymore, because we know what they're going to do before you even really get out there and test them if you're experienced with the discs. So I think showing the rim profile and talking about the feel is almost more important than the flights and some of these discs, because yeah, it's an overstable fairway. It goes out, it goes left, end of story. Skips if you want it to. It's really trustworthy. Throw it into the wind and you know what it's going to do. That's my review on the Raptor. Big thank you to Sun King Disc. Thanks to all you guys for watching, and I'll check you all very soon. Alright, cheers.